Alrighty, hello and welcome. This is my first ever live stream on YouTube, so I'm hoping that it is going to work. Um, okay, I can open that in a web browser. So yeah, look, I'm hoping to open the chat up so I can actually have a look and hopefully we can crack on. Don't really know how this works, but yeah, if the chat's there and people are watching, hopefully that's a sign that you can find me or whatever. Uh, Sweet. All right, so look, look, I think I am live. I've just checked online and we are live. So welcome. This is Fantasy Premier League with the D unit. I haven't got Alan today, but hopefully I'm going to try and get through as much of the content as possible. Yeah, look, what best place to start? Now, one of my mates has actually just told me today that he has wildcarded in Game Week 5. And yeah, look, I actually don't think that this is the correct time to wildcard. I think that no, I'm actually surprised. And I did ask him why potentially he might be wildcarding like this week. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure why he is. But look, if I was to create a wildcard thing, and like this is popping off, like lots of people are looking at this on my shorts, and this is my team currently, so this is actually my squad. I actually couldn't actually feasibly do this wild card anymore because actually I can, because originally I had Aina in it, and I changed my mind and I got him out, but he'd actually gone up in price. So I'd actually had a couple of different versions. This is not the version that I've shown in my short story. This is me still skimping out on the Raya thing, not having Raya in goal. I think that realistically you need to have Raya in goal. So yeah, that would be my answer to that. But look, this is what I've obviously gone with. So the players that have been replaced in my current squad at the moment. So I have Henderson in goal, and look, Crystal Palace haven't kept the clean sheet, and I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet tonight against Manchester United either. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them, concede again. Very realistic chance, very possible, very high probability chance that, Henderson is, not gonna keep a clean sheet. That's pretty much all that has to be said about that. And look, he's been disappointing. Crystal Palace on the whole have been disappointing. Mark Gahey actually looks exhausted, and I don't know if that and the combination of not having Anderson there anymore have made the Crystal Palace defence worse, but it certainly appears to be that way, and I'm expecting that to continue today. Next up, obviously, I did change a lot of my defence around, and I really wanted to get an Arsenal defender in for next game week, not potentially for this game week. So, and I also didn't really like my defence. So I have currently Trent Alexander-Arnold, Pedro Porro, Robinson, Faze from Leicester, and Harwood Bellis. Now, Vandenberg is a really good chance of, doing well. I think he's a 4 million option, and I think that he will potentially go up. So, that's an interesting thing to keep in mind. Gabriel, well, look, I'll tell you a really funny story. So my mate Darren, me and him, our rivalry is next level, and he had Gabriel sitting on his bench last week, and he got a score of 25. Like, he's a bloke that's stubborn on not going for Haaland as well, and I just think that's it's actually quite laughable because he's just choosing not to get involved and all the rest. But look, at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to do him any favours at all in the long run. I think that having Gabriel on his bench last week killed him. But I think, and I personally, it's hard to bet against the Arsenal defence. They've only conceded one goal this whole season, and that was against Brighton when they had 10 men. So, look, you couldn't bet against them potentially going on and winning like this week at City and keeping a clean sheet. That game reeks of a 1-0 or a 0-0. But I'm betting against Arsenal. I just can't see Man City not scoring twice in 2 games. That's pretty much what it comes down to. The next person I bought in is Dallo. Now, I've gone big on Man United. Now, I'll get into a little bit later in the show. I did a short earlier in the week about Manchester United and their fixture run. Now, the only other team that you could argue has a better fixture run than Man United coming up is actually Everton. Everton have I think it's not 8 or 9 green-looking game weeks out of the next 10. It's absolutely insane, the fixture run that they've got. And we'll get on to Everton a little bit later on, but you can't go wrong with them. And look, Dalot, he's looked shaky at left back. And look, last week he was lucky that, he got as many points as he did. But he is good attacking returns. And Man United's defence look a lot more solid. And I think the fact that De Ligt and Martinez starting there, I just really like the look of their team. And I just think that, realistically, I think that they're probably likely to, carry on and do a good job. In midfield, I haven't made too many changes, and this is primarily based... It's interesting. I actually did another draft where I actually changed this more significant. No, I didn't change it any more significantly. The only difference I had in my other draft that I'd done, but I've actually uploaded, is I didn't have Mbembo, and because I got Raya in goal for Turner, so I had to make up that 1.5 million there, and I actually had Dwight McNeil for Mbembo. I can never say that bloke's name, man. It's just a name I struggle with. But look, I just think that he's a good option post this game week. I think he's going to struggle to get points this week against Tottenham, and it's going to be interesting to see how Wissa being out impacts him. And obviously, I've seen people talking about Shady or Shaki or whatever you want to call some budget option playing up front for Brentford. It'll be interesting to see how that works. So this week, I've actually changed my mind. I think Dwight McNeil is actually a much better pick. As I said, the Everton fixture run is insane. And I just think you can't overlook that moving forward, potentially, et cetera, et cetera. And the other option I would do, so I have Chris Wood. And I've seen a lot of people, in fact, the bloke's team I'm about to go to show you, he's 4th in our league. And he's going all right. He's not made too bad. And I don't know why I understand why he's wildcarding this week, because he's got a few injuries to deal with. I think he had Munez, who's obviously a concern, and he had another big injury that I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to go and check my notes. I'm just having a quick look now. He had... Hold on. Where is he? Because I talked to him about his draft. All right, so here we go. He has got rid of Isaac. So Isaac's got a toe injury. All right, yeah. So look, I did really well last week. I actually got rid of Isaac before he dropped in price, and I got Ollie Watkins. So I I took a -4 last week in my game week score because I did make 2 changes, and I've been using my trades every week. I've just been a little bit gung-ho. I just wanted to beat some of the price drops and the price rises. I have been actively monitoring them and trying to dodge them. I think the game is definitely about trying to make money over the long term. And then when a player's form looks like it's about to dive ball, or there's rotation problems, or the certain players are out, that means that player's not getting the same look and feel in the team. I think that's definitely something to keep in mind. But he got rid of Isaac, and he bought in Wood. Whereas in my draft, what I've done here, I've actually got rid of Chris Wood, and I've bought in Calvert-Lewin. Now, again, Calvert-Lewin is one of those people that, quite often he's injured. So hopefully he doesn't get injured, because it also make it look bad, and then you have to burn another transfer trying to get him out. But my argument would be, and I am going to be doing this from next game week. I'm actually rolling my transfers this week at the moment. As it stands, I haven't changed my mind, so I'm going to keep him. But next week, the plan is to trade out Chris Wood for Calvert-Lewin, probably as soon as the deadline passes and the next week starts, because I believe Calvert-Lewin's probably going to go up in price, and David Raya is also going to go up in price. So currently I've got, I think, 0.9 in the bank, and I want to go from Henderson to Raya, which is going to cost me 1 mil. So I'm 0.1 short, which means that someone else has to go. And I think that Chris Wood, he's up to 6.1. I doubt he's going to go up to 6.2, and he's at 6. And at the 0.1 I need, I can make by going him to Calvert-Lewin, which will give me the extra one I need to go from Henderson to Raya. And that would be my plans for next week. But if my Game Week 5 squad, this is one that I did up. The only other difference that's in the other one is I don't get rid of Trent. I don't think I get rid of Trent. Actually, I'll double check what I did with the other one. But yeah, that's what I would do. Now, his team, I'm just going to quickly pull it over here to show you what my mate's team looks like. His team looks like this. So he's gone with that. So the transfers he's made out of this squad. So he has gone Isaac out, Muniz out, Harwood Bellis out, Berardi Diaz out, and Saka out. So he's gone 5 players out, which is not a lot of trades or transfers on a week where you're using the wild card. He's still got 1 transfer in the bank as well. Like I'm not sure. I think he could have just used 2 transfers to get rid of Isaac and Muniz and bring in like a Watkins and a Calvert-Lewin. I actually think that's what I would have done, because the players that he has bought in for these 5 players are João Pedro, who's still under some sort of an injury cloud. We're unsure whether he's going to take the lead or not. I've got Chris Wood, who again, I've just given the reason behind why I don't rate Chris Wood, and I'd rather go for a Calvert-Lewin. I mean, I'd even probably go for a Jamie Vardy. Yep. Well, yeah, you could bench him for sure. But yeah, look. And he's then gone Romero in for Spurs. Now, I don't know why you would ever go for a Spurs defender. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. I struggle to understand why you would go a Spurs defender. But yeah, it's just a very interesting line of thought in terms of going for a Spurs player that plays in the defence. It's not Pedro Porro. The main reason why I say it is Tottenham, the way they play, Ange Ball just risks lots of mistakes at the back. Like, they are open to defensive errors. They should have beaten Arsenal last week and they lost. So that's all you need to really know about Spurs as far as I'm concerned. Rodgers, he's brought in Rodgers for Berardi Diaz, which, I've got Rodgers in my team, and we'll get to my team in a little bit later on. But Rodgers is an enabler, and he's due to return. He's been desperately unlucky. Last week I watched the Villa game against Everton, because obviously I bought in Rodgers and Watkins, and I was very happy with Watkins scoring a couple of goals. Rodgers, though, on the other hand, he had 2 good chances to go in. He failed in both of them. They were pretty tame shots, to be fair, but like the chances are that it's coming. And the other transfer he's done is obviously Saka out and Salah in. Now, I like the Salah trade normally, and I have Salah myself, and I've gone the double up with Salah and Haaland. I've been that way the entire time that the FPL's been on this season. But I just think that Liverpool, I'm a little concerned about. And I remember last week in our show, me and Alan, we talked about the Liverpool players and how I think that, they were fixture proof and you could double up in their defence. Well, I've now changed my mind after last week's performance against Nottingham Forest. Now, I don't know if that's just because of the fact that it was post the international break and all of a sudden, they're trying to get back into the swing of things. Potentially, that is the case. Realistically, I'm not sure if you can factor that in too much. But yeah, look, he's also kept 0.3 mil in the bank. So that's someone else to add in there. Yeah, go ahead. Your team ID is 698406. All right, let's have a look. I actually don't know how to check your team off the top of my head, so you're going to have to bear with me. I'm not used to looking at that. But if you quickly just type your team out, I'm more than happy to have a look at it. Are you playing a wild card this week? Or are you just, chilling and trying to make the one or 2 transfers? D-Tuck. So D-Tuck's just joined the chat. That's our mate. So I'm just going to quickly pull up our league just so everyone can see how shit his team score was last week, just because he has joined the channel. So I'm just going to change the screen. So we're going to have a look here. Hold on. Whoops. And all right, here we go. So I'm going to zoom it up so we can make it a little bit bigger for everyone to see. Hold on. That's not what I was meant to do. Yeah, get rid of that. All right, and we're going to zoom. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, now, where are we? All right, don't know what's going on there. Get rid of that. And results, Premier League Fantasy. All right, here we go. He's throwing me off by joining. I didn't expect him to join. So here we go. Let's have a look at our leagues. By the way, if you want to join our league, it's never too late to join it. And our league code, I'll put that up in a second once I've zoomed this up a little bit. All right, so as we can see there, I'm currently sitting on top of our league, and I'm on 299 points overall, which is pretty good. Unlike last week was a bit of a sloppy week for me. But, you know, we only have to go down to number 11 and that big red arrow down there that we can see there, Daddy D-Tuck. He got a measly 25 points. 25 points. So we'll just pull up his score just to show what everyone's... Look at this. Like, this is not what you want to do. So he's missed out on 54 points from Erling Haaland, and... yeah, it's his team, as you can see, is in need of dire surgery. All right, so Ferrari 61's team is Verbruggen, Fabianski, Lewis, Trent, Porro, Greaves, Pau, Eze, and Mbembo. I like your midfield's good. I like your midfield. And you got Haaland, Solanke, and João Pedro up top. Are you making any transfers this week, or you want to know what formation you'd like to line up in? Looking at that team, if that's your team for the week, I would be going obviously Verbruggen starting in goal. Okay. All right. For future, search up, rate my team. Okay. All right. Too easy. That's how you know. As I said, this is my first live show, so I'm slightly new to checking things on the fly. But for your team this week, I'd definitely be starting Trent, Porro, and I'm assuming that's Pau is from Aston Villa. I think I'd be going him. They're at home against Wolves. I think those would be the three you'd start. I'm not sure Lewis would start for City against Arsenal. I think that's probably likely to be Kyle Walker, João Pedro, Rogers, and Mbembo and Eze. Okay. Get paid out on. That's right. We'll get back to you in a second, Darren. Who do you bench out of João Pedro, Rogers, and Mbembo and Eze? I think Mbembo is probably one. I'm starting Rogers this week. I'll get to my team in a second. So I'm going to say you probably should start Rogers. João Pedro, I would also start, but I'm unsure if he's going to make the team. Like I'm non-convinced whether he's going to be in the squad or if he's going to be out of the squad. But yeah, that's what I would say there. So I would, and Eze, it's a really tough one. I don't know. I'd actually bench Solanke for Eze, if I'm being brutally honest. I haven't rated Solanke at all. I had said at the start of the season that I think that his level is Bournemouth, and I'm still not convinced that his level is Tottenham. I know that, the centre forward of Tottenham, and they have created a lot of chances. I'm just not convinced that Solanke is the answer to their team. It's a brutal honesty. So I'll just quickly click on my team. This is the lineup I'm going with this weekend. So as you can see there, I've got Rogers in my team. I've also got Jota and a few others. But my bench is shit. Let's be honest. I'm actually starting Wood in the second spot there. And that's how my lineup is. I've made no trades this week, so I'm just backing in the players I've got. The only other thing I'd say on the Crystal Palace game, the Eze one, I'm expecting United to score. And now that Eze doesn't look like he's on penalties because Mateta took the ball last week, and that was concerning. My mate Alan has Eze, and who I normally do the show with, and he is sticking in with him. So he's playing Eze this week. So if that's of any help, hopefully that provides you a little bit of help. I don't know if you're yet to make any trades, but I'd even almost bench Saka over some of them. I can't see Arsenal scoring goals this weekend. I think they can keep a clean sheet. I'm not sure that Saka does anything, but sometimes it pays off, like making these wild sort of things. But if we go back to Darren's team, I just want to point out, like this is also what can happen in your weeks. So we'll go back to his team really quickly, just because he's a good example. So last week he had Gabriel on the bench. He had 15 points on the bench in his defense, and he had Greaves also on the bench in his defense. So I noticed that you've got Greaves in your team. And now that I just looked at their fixture, because I haven't got any Ipswich players, so I haven't really paid that much attention to them, I'd be starting Greaves this week 100%. If Southampton score, you're desperately unlucky. He's definitely someone that I'd be starting this week in your team, 100%. All right, so back to the wildcard squad that I was talking about earlier. Where are we? So, as my mate said there, I said to him, my options, and I said this to him quite honestly, I would actually have traded out Eze for Marcus Rashford. I think Marcus Rashford is brilliant. I think he's going to be in a brilliant form, like moving forward. His run of fixtures is just too good to ignore as well. I'm just going to pull up a United player, and that way I can show you what I'm talking about. So let's go here, all players, Man United, and we'll pull up Marcus Rashford. Where is he? So Rashford's still at 6.9, which is really interesting. So player information. So he's got a few weeks. He's actually not got that many. His form's only at 4, but he scored 15 points in total. But last week he scored 8 of the 15. And these fixtures, I know the next couple, you're probably like, what? But they've got Tottenham at home, and Tottenham, as I've just talked about before, defend poorly. So I would expect them to... Actually, I just realised I need to go back to this screen. So this is Marcus Rashford's fixtures in the coming game week. So he's got Crystal Palace away. I'm hoping that United... I'm a United fan. Hopefully he starts him up top with Ahmad on the right and Garnacho on the left. I'm certainly hoping that's the way it's going to go. And then Spurs at home. And then Aston Villa away last year. They beat Aston Villa. And then it's all green. And I think there's goals galore coming for Marcus Rashford. He scored 3 in a week, and that's normally a sign that things are going to go up moving forward. So, look, I'd definitely be looking at Man United players. Again, all those green runs there as well. They look really good for defenders, and I wouldn't hesitate. A lot of people bought in Onana last week for the Southampton game, and boy, were they rewarded with a really good performance from him. Last week, he's already up to 21 points for the season, Onana. So he had 13 points in game week 4, and obviously he kept the clean sheet in game week 1 as well. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind as well. It's really annoying that you have to go all the way over there when you're looking at the points to figure out what the hell's going on. Oh no, there it is, 6, mate. One of them. And then fixtures. Again, Onana, I would expect him to keep clean sheets. Potentially he could keep a clean sheet tonight. I'm not sure if he will, but he might. And then obviously from game week 8 onwards, I would expect him to keep quite a few clean sheets between that and the Arsenal game, which is away. So, look, United players, I think a lot of people are debating about whether, they're a good spot to go in and whether, that's the right play moving forward. But hopefully they are. Hopefully that's the way to go. I would definitely be bringing in Marcus Rashford 100%. Now, back to that game week squad of my mate Diesels. So he's got Semenyo. I quite like him as a player. He's a good enabler as well, another cheap budget option. I think if you're having Haaland and Salah in your team, that you've got to have at least 2 budget options in the midfield. And you've got to pick those ones that are going to be scoring points. Now, Rodgers, everyone's jumped on him, but he hasn't really done a hell of a lot at the moment. And obviously my other enabler is Ahmad, and he's done well. Ahmad's got me points. He's returned in 2 out of the 4 game weeks so far, and I'm hoping he can make it 3 tonight and hopefully cement his place in the team, because I tell you what, if he keeps going, people are going to be jumping on board. He's hopefully going to make me some money moving forward as well. Now, the one thing I do like is that he's actually got an extra rotation on the defense. So, for example, he does have Gabriel on the defense. So he could go to like a formation with 4 defenders playing, depending on the game week, which could be really handy moving forward. So that's one thing I do like. I just don't like the Romero pick and the Tottenham. I think there's got to be a better player he could pick there that is going to be more consistent in terms of getting clean sheets or potentially more attacking returns. So that's what I would say on that particular point there. When it comes to, and then obviously the Chris Wood one, Calvert-Lewin, I'm just going to pull up the transfers in for the week. If this lets me do it. Exit full screen. There we go. All right. So where are the transfers in for the week? Because I saw this and I was like, that is some interesting news. I think I have to go back to the fantasy. and then the home screen or something. Yep, here we go. So this is the current transfers in for the game week. So Ollie Watkins is leading the charge. So I actually brought him in prior to his massive spell, and I had a feeling that would happen, which has meant that I've actually made some money out of him. And if he goes big again today, he's 100% going to go up in price. Now, I only bought Ollie Watkins in for like a few games. That was the original plan. But if he keeps delivering points and hauls like he has done, then 100% he'll be staying. Now, the other top transfers in, Jamie Vardy. The Vardy party, how long can he continue it? He's 37. He's a year younger than me. So I don't know how long he can keep that going for, but hopefully Jamie Vardy can, keep that form going. And he's got Everton at home this week. And look, Everton have been conceding on average 3 goals a game. So there's got to be goals to be had there. The one that really interested me here, the Luis Diaz transfers in. I'm surprised 391,000 people are transferring in Luis Diaz. Why, you ask? Well, if anyone bothered to watch the Champions League game midweek for Liverpool against Milan, Luis Diaz did not start that game, and Cody Gakpo started that game, and Cody Gakpo actually looked really good. And I wouldn't be surprised if Luis Diaz starts on the bench this weekend. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. So, look, I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but look, Luis Diaz potentially could be starting on the bench, and 391,000 people are going to be pissed off if he does. Now, the other interesting thing is 306,000 people have bought in Erling Haaland this week. Darren, I'm hoping you are one of those 306,000 people, because if you are not, and you're still chasing the man, the myth, the legend that is Erling Haaland, then I think you're going to be finding you're going to be paying an absolute premium for him moving forward. So look, that's what I would say to that. Danny Welbeck, I'm not surprised that his transfers are up. Brighton do have a couple of nice fixtures coming up as well. And, that's not a surprise that he's gone up, like in terms of the transfers in. And here's a really good budget option. And if João Pedro's not playing, Danny Welbeck 100% definitely is. If we look at the transfers out, now I wonder how many people sideways traded João Pedro to Danny Welbeck. I really am intrigued. So transfers out this game week for João Pedro, 462,863. That is a lot of transfers out. Interestingly enough, Isaac almost has 1 million transfers out. So 954,000 people are not hanging on to him. He's gone. See you later. See you toast. Wissa, again, he's gone, but that makes sense because he's going to be out for 2 months. So if you still have Wissa, you either don't care about your fantasy team anymore, or you don't care and you're going to hold him for 2 months. I mean, either or, you might as well delete your squad. So Wissa, 100%. Guardiol, again, I'm not surprised by this. 289,000 out. There's so many better options at 6 mil than Guardiol at the moment. He's not getting any attacking returns. It doesn't look like he's going to get any attacking returns. So that's a really smart transfer out. And De Bruyne, again, he went off injured. So that's probably why he is up to 226,000 out. Now let's just have a look at the team of the week. So they're thinking that player of the week, Mo Salah, Madueke, Mo Salah, and Sanchez. Sanchez got 15 points last week in goal. That's right, he saved a penalty. There was 2 penalty saves last weekend. That's really weird. So the most valuable team. So some people have already made quite a bit of money. So that's not bad. I don't know how they've made that much money that quickly, but there you go. Okay. Player availability. I've never even bothered to check these stats out before. That's how much I pay attention to them. But let's just have a look at some more of the transfers in and out. So Aina went up in price this week. He had 263 transfers in. He was in my game week 5 wildcard squad that I put up in my shorts. I really like him. The Nottingham Forest defence has been a shitload better than I thought it was going to be. So I would not be surprised if he does some more good stuff. He has that really good run. So Brighton, I don't know why Brighton are showing up as a green team. They're playing them away at Brighton. I would think that would have been a 3, but on the fixture difficulty. Apparently, Nottingham Forest must travel really well to Brighton. And then he's got Fulham at home. You expect that to be... Look, the reason why I haven't got rid of Chris Wood yet is because of that Fulham game. I think that Chris Wood could potentially score next week. But then he's out against Chelsea. He ain't doing nothing there. But then, you could keep him. He might actually go up in price. I don't know. I'm not sure. Now that I'm looking at Nottingham Forest fixtures, I can see potentially why people are jumping on Chris Wood, but it's Chris Wood, man. He's 32 years old. He's a New Zealand international. Like, New Zealand and a bunch of no ones. So, look, this... Oh, yeah, and then it gets bad. So, I don't know. You could keep him to West Ham at home, but, yeah. Bain is a really good choice. And he was... I don't know how that guy was on 4.4 mil. He scored 20 points so far this season. And somehow he dropped to 4.4. He's back to 4.5 now. And he's now owned by 4.7%. Still a really good differential. I don't mind that. Smith Rowe, 261 in. He's now up to 5.7. So I got him in at 5.5. So he's actually made me 0.1 of a mil. And he's got 22 points in total. How is he going to go in the next few weeks? Well, ironically, Fulham and Newcastle. Fulham have a decent record against Newcastle. So I'm backing him to score again this week. Or return at least something, hopefully. And then he's got Forest away. He's actually on the chopping line for me to go. I am looking at getting rid of him for Dwight McNeil. So that would be... we'll pull up Dwight McNeil in a minute. He is on this list. He's down here a little bit further. So Duran, I'm not sure why this guy has been transferred in by 232,000 people. Like, I know he scored 20 points and he's been scoring goals off the bench. So he scored off the bench against Leicester and against Everton. And I think he might have scored the winner as well against West Ham off the bench. So he's done all right. He's done an all right job as a super sub. But I don't know. For a bloke that is not starting games of football, it's a high price to be paying for someone that is likely to sit on the bench. Obviously, Ollie Watkins apparently is fit, so he's almost 100% going to start. The only other thing that might happen is Duran might come into the team for Jacob Ramsey. If that is the case, then I would be thinking about jumping on Duran myself, 100%, because I think then there's something behind it. They might actually be able to get away with that moving forward. So let's have a look at the fixtures here. So they're pretty good for Villa. This is why I bought in Ollie Watkins. Wolves at home, Ipswich away. You expect them to deliver it big in those ones. Then they've got Man United at home, Fulham away, and then Bournemouth at home. Then you've got to think about what you're going to do with them from game week 10 onwards. So, game week 10, game week 14 could be times to wild card. So you could trade out your Villa assets for game week 10 and then bring them all in on a wild card in number 14, because I don't think that Newcastle's a red team. Their defence is shit. I don't know if anyone else has seen the Newcastle defence, but they can't defend either. They're a bit like Tottenham. And Mbembo, not surprised by that. He's up to 7.1. After this week, it's a beautiful run for Brentford. 100%. I don't... As I said, I'll be bringing him in. He's a really good shout out. Yeah, those fixtures speak for themselves. West Ham at home, Wolves at home, United away, Ipswich at home, Fulham away, Bournemouth at home, Everton away, Leicester at home. Look at that. What a run till game week 14. That's juicy. That's what that is. I'd 100%. Look, Brentford have a really good end of the season as well. Game week 32. I know it's miles away, but look, you got to pay attention and pre-plan in fantasy. Otherwise, you're just not going to get there. Let's have a look at some of the other ones. Sanchez. Look, this is what happens. Someone has a good week. They save a penalty. They score a shitload of points. Darren Tucker is a classic example of this. He bought in Madueke after he scored that hat-trick and has done absolutely nothing since. Nothing. Nada. So, look, that's what happens. You can't jump the gun. Sometimes you get a player that scores like a massive amount of points. Don't jump on them. There's no guarantee they're going to be any good. Calvert-Lewin must be close to a price rise, I'm guessing. Just judging from the fact that he's had 217 transfers in. Mo Salah, he's now up to 12.7. That's mad. So, again, he's really good for the next couple of game weeks. Great captain option this week as well. And then Dwight McNeil. So, I want to just look at him because look at this fixture run and tell me that Everton players aren't the ones to target. They are unbelievably good at this point in time. So Leicester away, Crystal Palace at home, Newcastle at home, Ipswich away, Fulham at home, Southampton away, West Ham away, Brentford at home, Man United away, and then Wolves at home. Until game week 15, you could not go too far wrong with Everton players. And then you just get rid of them for 4 game weeks, and they've got a massively good run again. But their end of the season's absolutely shit out, so you want to stay away from them then. But look, there's nothing wrong with that. I would 100% say, jump on board with Dwight McNeil. He is already up to 22 points. We'll just have a look at his history. So he's got 12, 6, 2 and 2. Look. So, so that was for Nkunku, saved the price drop, and Palmer will feed him Madwakey. Well, look, Darren, I just wanted to point out something to you. So we'll go back to the fixtures from last week. And where are we? So fantasy fixtures. Actually, no, I need to go back. Hold on. Fixtures. There we go. So if we go back to previous, and it's not loading. There we go. If we go down to here and we look at the Bournemouth-Chelsea game, you'll see that Nkunku scored and Sancho got the assist. Now, the biggest reason why Madueke was a dumb move, and I said it when you made it, is because they signed Sancho before that game, the end of that game week. And I can tell you 100% the Dwight McNeil is a much better option than Madueke. You can actually save some money. That's a really good point. So you could actually save some money by bringing in Dwight McNeil to upgrade potentially a forward line to Haaland. That's what I would say. I'll try and get him in. But yeah, look, Nkunku and Sancho is like his biggest risk, because I think that bloke is going to be starting under Maresca. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Now, looking at some of the other transfers in, Cole Palmer, I'm surprised that so many people have transferred him in. 10.6 million, and he's just not doing any good. Now, there is 134,000 other idiots in the world that think that Madueke is a good option. What is wrong with people? Do they actually watch the games of football? Like, that guy is he's like Nicholas Jackson. He gets into the right positions and then does nothing. He just stuffs it up. Some people just never learn. Now, another really interesting bloke that I like the look of. Now, Harvey Barnes played really well the last 3 game weeks. So he's got 5, 9 and 8 points. But his fixtures aren't good. So he was a bloke I was looking at until I looked at this fixture run. Fulham away, Man City at home, Everton away. Newcastle don't travel well away from home. They're pretty shit when they travel away from home. And then they've got Chelsea and Arsenal. Really, if you're going to bring in Newcastle assets, you're probably doing it from game week 11 onwards or from game week 15. In fact, from game week 15, they've only got one red team between 15 and 25. So that if Newcastle actually pick up some form, that's probably the time to bring him in. So I wouldn't bother looking at him. Chris Wood. Oh, he's on this list. 107,000 transfers in. He might actually make me 0.1 mil. Now, look at that. Underneath, these are the people I want to talk about. Dalit, Rashford, Ahmad, Mazraoui, all getting some love, which is not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. The shocking stat here is that Marcus Rashford is only owned by 3.8% of teams. I'm going to make that 3.9 next week. Watch it. Watch people jump on. When he scores again against Palace, his price will definitely rise next week. You heard it here first. Watch and learn next week. It's coming. Now, if we just go back to this and we check out the transfers out for the game week. Now, this is the people that you've got to worry about. This is what you've got to be paying attention about. Saka, 222,000 transfers out. That's problematic. That means he's probably in line for another price drop. Potentially. He could drop to 9.9 and then you jump on him because Arsenal's fixture run after this week. Look at this. Actually, it's not that good, It's got Leicester at home, Southampton at home, Bournemouth away. 3 really good fixtures, but then they've got Liverpool, Newcastle and Chelsea. I mean, like, Newcastle and Chelsea, are they really a 4 rated team to be playing against? I'm not sure. I haven't seen enough from those teams to make me think that they're any good. especially Chelsea. But then I tell you what, that run from game week 12 through to game week 24, that is when you get your Arsenal players in. 100%. You could try and beat them by bringing them in at like game week 11. But for me, I'm going to be holding off, particularly on Saka, until at least game week 12. That's my plan anyway. I do like their defence, and I will be bringing in their defenders because I think that their defence can actually still go all right in these games. The next bloke, Eze. Now, Eze's been transferred out by 209,860 people. And he's actually dropped in price from 7 to 6.9. That's really interesting. Now, oops, that's Saka. Eze, he hasn't done much. He's got 16 points in total for this game week. So, well, sorry, for this season. What am I on about? If he got 16 points in the game week, everyone would be jumping on, going, yeah, let's go. But his only return has been against Chelsea when he scored that goal, and he obviously got 10 points in that fixture. But look, they've got United at home, Everton away. Everton away, there's goals in there. So I wouldn't be too worried about that game. Liverpool at home, you're definitely benching him. And then the next 4 game weeks after that, you would expect him to score. Forest away, Spurs at home. They're definitely going to score against Spurs at home. Spurs are shit. Wolves away and Fulham at home. Definitely, 100%. Jump on board for those. But yeah, I'm intrigued that so many people have sold him out. But that's because so many other budget options in midfield are actually doing really well. Now, the one that I was interested in, I was hoping that Jota was actually going to make me some money because he got up to 7.6. I just want to look at this. So I'm actually hoping that Havertz actually drops some price because I liked Kai Havertz as my Arsenal forward, not Saka, because I was thinking originally of transferring Watkins to Havertz. But again, it just depends on how well they look moving forward, because without Odegaard, do they attack the same way? Is Havertz going to fulfill the same positions? No one really knows just yet, but that's something to keep in mind 100% for sure. If we look at... So Palmer's actually had more transfers out than in. So he's 104. And look, there's 133,000 people. Maybe Darren's one of them. Are you one of those people, Darren, that's traded out that fool that is Madueke? I reckon you wouldn't be dumb if you did, because I reckon he's shit. He's going to get you no points this weekend. That's what I reckon. So let me know what you think about that. Look, the other massive person that's been traded out that's really relevant here is Muniz. 193,000 people jumping off. He obviously was benched last week in that game week, which was very disappointing. I actually looked at starting him over Chris Wood. I'm glad that I went Chris Wood because Chris Wood has at least returned in 2 of the 4 game weeks so far, whereas Muniz has a grand total of 7 points, which is frankly not good enough. And yeah, that's probably his lot in life. You probably wouldn't even bother looking at him until game week 19, and that's even if he gets back in the team and finds some form. Obviously, his replacement, Raul Jimenez, actually made some money. Scored. Whereas Muniz has now dropped back from that 6.1. I've never understood how he went to 6.1. He never returned, and yet his price went up. He's one of 2 players that have done that. Rodgers is the other one, and his price is still up. People still think that he's going to return, but he's started at 5 mil, whereas Rodrigo Muniz started at 6. Just interesting stats. Diego Jota. So I'm going to be watching this. I am hoping that tonight he turns it on. Now, there is a strong chance Diego Jota could be benched in this game. And the only reason why I say that and why maybe so many people are bringing in Luis Diaz is because maybe they're thinking ahead and thinking that he's going to rotate again and Cody Gakpo played well in the Champions League. He'll keep his spot and Luis Diaz will come in and maybe Gakpo plays up top where Jota's been playing and Diaz goes back to the left and Jota drops to the bench. That could potentially happen. I really don't know. Definitely could happen. 100%. I'm definitely hoping it's not. I know Darren's definitely got Jota as well. And I'm definitely hoping that doesn't happen. But I'm telling you, if it does happen, I can tell you the first transfer that'll be happening when I see him on the bench is Jota out, Rashford in. That's what will be happening. 100%. So Diego Jota, you've got till tonight to prove yourself worthy of staying in my team. Do not let me down. Do not let the D unit down. Don't let Darren down either. We can't afford it. So yeah, look, some of the other ones that are getting traded out as well. Anthony Gordon has now dropped in price to 7.4. he is out. Now, the reason why is probably because of those fixtures and the fact that I don't think, and Anthony Gordon's probably going to be playing up top, and I'm not sure he's an actual forward. And Callum Wilson's still out as well, so that his assists are probably going to dry up. We're probably only looking at goals for Anthony Gordon moving forward, and they've got a tough run. Henderson, 104 transfers out. So I might have to. I'm glad I'm getting rid of him for next week with Raya, because I think that probably. I'm just trying to help out my mate Tom, who's trying to join and look at the show and hopefully ask some questions as well. And hopefully he's able to join and can ask a few things as well. Now, Pedro Porro, again, 101 transfers out. Now, the reason why that is because Tottenham can't fucking defend. They're shit defending, man. And if he's not getting points going forward, he ain't going to get them. He ain't going to be getting them from clean sheets. Not every team is Everton. So that's all has to be said. Interestingly enough here, 87,000 people have traded out Ollie Watkins. I don't know what news they've got, but he's in. Tom's in. So I'm not sure why they're trading him out, but it makes no sense to me. Ollie Watkins, as I said, he's had a lot of transfers in, which is why his price has gone up. 87,000 idiots out there think that he must be injured and is not going to play. Luis Diaz, also 84,000 out. Now, these people go against the 400 or so bringing him in because they obviously watched the Champions League, saw that Luis Diaz wasn't in the squad and have taken him out. Interesting enough, Luis Diaz has now gone up 0.3 in starting price. He started at 7.5 and is now up to 7.8. Okay, I don't know what I'm thinking there. I'm not sure why that everyone's going up. I'm live from 30,000 feet from Brisbane to Perth. Love it. That's the dedication. I love Tom. Brilliant stuff. Now, Bruno Fernandes, 11.1%. He's down to 8.3. Another 82,000 transfers out this week. He's now dropped 0.2 million from his starting price. Now, the stats don't lie. He's been poor to begin the season. He's only got 5 points. His only return was last week when he got an assist. Unfortunately for Bruno, he also picked up a yellow card, I'm pretty sure, from that memory. Tom can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Bruno picked up a yellow card, which is why he only got 5 points instead of 6. Oh, no, mate. No, we didn't keep we did keep a clean sheet. He should have had 6 points like Ahmad did, so he definitely got booked. 100% he got booked. But look, he came on midweek against Barnsley, the Barcelona of League One, and he got himself a bag of assists. 2 assists in that game. So look, I think the United players definitely someone to watch. Now, we're just going to go back to the wildcard squad of Diesels. And Tom, I don't know what your thoughts are on Daniel's team, but as I said, Eze, I'd be getting rid of. He got a yellow. I thought so. I'd be getting rid of Eze for Marcus Rashford. I think that tonight we will see Marcus Rashford score and Eze blank. That would be my guess. And I'd also be getting rid of Chris Wood. As I've said, I pulled out Calvert-Lewin's fixtures before. Everton's dream run is unheard of. And they are scoring goals. They just can't bloody defend. So you don't want to bring in their defenders, but their midfielders and forwards, 100%. Bring them in. They're going to get you some points. Look, that's Diesel's squad. Now, we're going to go to the next thing that I'm going to talk about this week, FPL Challenge. Whoops. So this week it is All-Americas, and this is my squad that I've gone for the All-Americas. I'm going a 1-2-1 formation now. I might have to change this before the Liverpool game because at the moment, Alisson Becker is rated at a 50% chance of playing, which is not flash. So I'll have to pay attention because if he doesn't play, there's only 2 other options in that particular position this week. I think one of them's Edison from Man City. So he might be the one that comes in for Alisson if he doesn't get through. I've gone for Martinez as my sole defender. I think that potentially Man United keep another clean sheet tonight. I'm certainly hoping it's going to be 3 clean sheets from 3. So hopefully they, do well moving forward with that. Then I've got Luis Diaz. I did originally have Alisson Becker as my captain, but I'm not sure if he's going to start. But if he does start, Alisson Becker will be my captain because I think Liverpool 100% keep a clean sheet. Luis Diaz is in. Garnacho is also in. I think Garnacho, hopefully tonight, Erik ten Hag starts Garnacho, Rashford, and Ahmad. And hopefully that means that there's going to be goals. There's definitely going to be goals and assists in that game. So hopefully Garnacho gets amongst it. And João Pedro is my forward at the moment. But again, that will potentially change if he is not in the Brighton lineup. So I'm going to have to be paying real attention to that. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with 2 blokes with 0 points from the 5. So at the moment, that's why Luis Diaz is my captain in case I forget to change him prior to the games happening. So look, that's it. Now, other players to keep in mind this week moving forward. There's a lot of changes potentially going to happen. So we're just going to go to our league. So again, if you want to join our league, the code is LDV. I should really put this on the stream. LDV6FK. So LDV6FK. In fact, I'm going to write that in there now so people can actually see that. Hold on. Wherever I've lost my screen. There we go. LDV. Copy that. I'm going to whack that in the chat for everyone. That's the league code. If you want to join. So if you're watching on and you want to join, you think you can beat me, please try your luck. Because at the moment, these fools... Tom has actually risen into third. Shout out to the Tom who is watching currently. He is on a big green arrow and his team is looking pretty good. We'll just pull his team up. So give him a bit of a shout out on the thing. So last week, that's what it was. He, unlike me, captained Haaland. I captained Salah. Look, I've also keeping the faith for Salah this week. I don't know if Tom's captaining Haaland again, but you know, you can't back against the great Norwegian. I still think he's going to score against Arsenal. Oh, he's put into the peer pressure as well. He's gone Salah as captain as well. So everyone's jumping on board this week. Unlike me last week, Tom stuck the faith with the Haaland at home against Brentford and was duly rewarded. And he gained a valuable 11 points on me from that one decision alone. So well done to you, Tom, for that. And he also has Dalot. So Dalot had a really good return last week. Hopefully that continues this week. But again, I don't know if you're starting Lewis, but I think potentially he's going to be on the bench and Walker will start the game, Tom. So keep that in mind when you're doing that. You might need to start Faze instead, who I've got Everton at home. It could be a good change. And hopefully João Pedro gets up for you. So you don't have to play bloody 5 defenders. The Salah. Yeah. So look, that's Tom's one. But again, if we go back to the league, as I said, Darren sitting there in the measly 11th. Now, Alan's team, this is what can happen sometimes when you play your wild card and it doesn't go all that well. So Alan's sitting down there in 15th. He actually played his wild card last week and he only got 42 points down. Next week, hopefully he'll be on the show to back himself up. But this week he's not. So I'm just going to take the piss out of him because he's not here. So he didn't have Nicholas. I told him last week I wouldn't have gone Nicholas Jackson. And it proved right. He got 1 point. The other thing that I would say, and I said this to him last week as well, I wouldn't have gone Eze because I think there's better options. And again, with Minte, I said better options. João Pedro as well. You know, I think maybe looking back at it, like his team's decent. I just think that his support for Palace has clouded his judgment because Gahey and the Palace defence have been shithouse. And look, we just go there. Gahey's made a total of 4 points for the season. So I think that's just a sign that no good. So Tom's just told me he's bought in the Vardy party. Who'd you bring him in for, Tom? Let's have a look. See if I can work it out. All right, so he's either bought in the Vardy party for Archer or João Pedro. Does he have money in the bank? Let's have a look. I reckon he's bought him in for João Pedro. Have you bought him in for João Pedro, Tom? Let's wait and see what the Tom comes back with. But look, our league there, we go to the head-to-head league this week. What do we have waiting for us? I'm now at the top of all these leagues, as you can see, number one. So it's been a good start to the season, 4 rounds in. So I beat Alan last week and I took a -4. So that's how good I went. And he was on his wild card last week. So sometimes don't be disheartened if you haven't done your wild card. Now, shout out to this bloke, Grace Patrick. I don't even know who this bloke is. And he's in this league. He got -24 points. I think potentially what he did is he was playing. He dropped Pedro. Okay, so he got rid of João Pedro for Vardy Party. I think that's a good trade. I rate that, Tom. I give that one a tick. Calvert-Lewin, though, I reckon could be all right as well. So I don't know if you had a look at his fixture run, but his looks pretty good as well. But so DJ Easy, because Alan's name is actually his DJ name. He actually DJs as well. Is DJ Ez or something like that. But yeah, so look, he's calling himself DJ Easy. But DJ Easy was a bit too easy for the D unit to account for last week. If we just go back one game week as well, I just want to ring this up since Tom is on the channel, and we can see that Tom was accounted for by a big 12 points by the D unit as well. So thanks for coming, Tommy. And if we go to this week's game weeks, we've got game week 5. So I'm actually versing the bloke that did -24 last week. So I'm hoping that he hasn't learnt and that he goes for another -24 points, because that will make it very easy for me to swat him aside. Probably the matchup of the round. So Slap Dogs by Peter McNeil. What? Well, okay, why is it not going to his team? It's really weird. This last year you'd be able to click on the person's team and it'd just take you to their team. This year it doesn't. Tom's got an interesting team to verse this week. And then Darren's got Alan. Ooh, Darren had a really good week last week as well. He top scored in our leagues. So I'll have a look at the quick results here. And Tom, who did I say you had? Oh, Slap Dogs Slappers. Oh, mate, Darren's got a free win this week. There's no way he's losing to this rabble of Slap Dog Slappers. Shit. That's a shit team. Peter, get bloody Haaland in your team. How hard is it? And Tom, who did you have? You've got... Oh, you got Patrick. Patrick's a good player. He's got a good team. Let's have a look. Patrick Longer. He's normally got a pretty good team. He must be near the top. Yeah, he is. Look at that. Pending moderation. Let's have a look at his team. Oh, he's got Gabriel. Okay. Canade defense. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes. He's got Bruno. He's on the Bruno love, mate. He's got Bruno. I think Bruno's a danger for you this week, Tom. I'm imagining he's probably going to trade out Isaac for Watkins as well. So I think he could be in a spot of bother. But he has no Mo Salah. So Salah could come up big for you this week and get you the points you need in the captain matchup. Because I dare say he's going to stay with Haaland as captain because he's got no Mo Salah. So that's interesting. So watch out for that one, Tommy. That's what I'd say to that. All right. And yeah, so look, hopefully players start performing this week. We'll just go back to the transfers thing. The players that I've got my eye on for next week, Gabriel, 100%. He's at the top of my watch list to bring in next week. Again, I really like the United defense. I just don't know who I want to go for yet because I want to triple up on them potentially. Martinez is still a good option at 4.5. I think he's likely to get a goal at some point. In the midfielders, so in the goalkeepers, I think it's definitely Raya. Raya's definitely the standout goalkeeper. 29 points already. He's cleared daylight away from everyone else. But I think he's definitely worth paying up for. Palmer's going to score too. I'm not sure, Tom. A lot of people transferred Palmer out, but a lot of people transferred him in as well. So it's like people can't make up their minds on him at all. And now Flecken, Brentford's run, we talked about that earlier. Look at this. I'd be bringing him in after this week. Potentially it's Henderson to Flecken, and I just roll with Flecken and I save the money and don't go for Raya. I'm not sure yet. But that's a pretty good run for Brentford, and you'd expect him to keep quite a few clean sheets in that particular thing. And Van den Berg for Brentford, £4 million option at the back. He could be a good swap for Harwood Bellis because I think that Brentford are likely to keep clean sheets, and Southampton do not look likely to keep any clean sheets at all. If we quickly go to the midfielders, so Tom's got Palmer. Look, other than Mo Salah, everyone else, you can throw a blanket over Diaz, Saka, Palmer, and Mbeumo. Not Madueke or Barnes. Those next four down, you could definitely throw a blanket over, and you want to hope you have at least one of them in your team. Now, I don't actually have any of them in my team, but Jota will be leaving for me next week, and I'll be getting someone in that hopefully is going to match the output of one of these blokes. Now, I just don't like Palmer at 10.6. It's an awkward price point, and he's not got the same role as he does, as Tom's been banging on about, he's going to deliver, but he just doesn't have the same sort of output this year, and he's not playing the same role under Maresca, and he doesn't have the same freedom, which means that he's unlikely to get the same amount of points. The other ones to keep in mind, Dwight McNeil, 5.4 million option. How long will he stay 5.4? That is the question. He's already scored 22 points for the season. As I said, let's just look at that fixture run. It's all green. Dwight McNeil is going to be skyrocketing up the charts, I reckon. It's got a strong likelihood that him and Calvert-Lewin, if they both stay fit, will be going straight up. Now, Semenyo, still a really good option at 5.6. If we have a look at him, but you just can't get on until game week 11. Game week 11, I think you look at him, and he'll probably drop in price before game week 11 because there's a lot of hard teams in that next bunch of fixtures. And then obviously Onana. Now, I know Tom went Onana over Rodgers, but he has yet to be rewarded for that faith, bar the fact that Onana's gone up 0.1 million. So well done, Tom. You got the price rise in, but he hasn't actually delivered any points for you yet. So it'll be interesting to see if he does against Wolves and Ipswich tonight. Now, because Onana did score in the Champions League again, so he's now got 3 goals already this season. It's mad. I actually can't believe that. So look, he's now owned by 12.2% of the competition as well. So another one to keep in mind. Jared Bowen, he is going under the radar, and he is at 7.5, so he's slightly more costly, but his fixture run's pretty good coming up. Now, he's got Chelsea at home this week, but then he normally travels quite well away from home, and they've got Brentford and then Ipswich. He wouldn't be the worst selection in the world, and he's the West Ham captain, and I just have a sneaky suspicion that bringing him in could be a good move. He's only owned by 6.3%. He's a great differential option. Definitely keep your eye out for him. He could deliver you some big points moving forward potentially. Eze, been disappointing, as I said. And then Rashford. This guy, he's going to deliver. I know the fixture list doesn't look the best the next 3 weeks, but I'm telling you, he's going to score. He's going to score goals. He's going to score goals. He's not going to be 6.9 next week. 100%. He'll be up. The other bloke I wanted to talk about, this guy. Now, apparently, Wiss's injury has meant that this guy, who's at 5.4, bargain basement, he assisted against Southampton, I believe, in game week 3, which everyone seems to do. But as I said, the Brentford run after this week is amazing, and at 5.4, he could be another brilliant enabler, a bit like Dwight McNeil, to bring in, to target. If he's playing up front and he scores some goals, then you're going to be laughing. He's going to be making your money, he's going to be making your points. So look, get on board with that, 100%. That's what I'd be saying to that. Now, if we just go to the forwards, we're going to wrap this show up, or this live stream up, with the forwards. If we have a look at the forwards, Erling Haaland, 15.3 million now. Now, Darren still doesn't have Haaland as of the time of writing. Who knows if he's going to bring him in the next 17 minutes. He'd be dumbass if he doesn't. But he's now up to 70.3% ownership. That is insane. Almost everyone has him again, like last year. But he now costs 15.3 million. It's hard to believe. But he's already scored 54 points and 11 bonus points. That's insane, man. The dude is a machine. He is a Norwegian beast of a human. Look at that. 7 points. He started slowly. 7, 17, 17, 13. What's it going to be this week? Who knows? Can the Arsenal defence keep him in check? I have no idea. Danny Welbeck's now gone up to 5.8 as well. So he's going up in price, baby. He's up to 19.1% ownership. Very interesting. Okay, I don't think I'm bringing him in. I really do like that Calvert-Lewin pick, though. Calvert-Lewin, he won't be 5.9 next week. If he scores this week, he's going up to 6. So you might have to make a trade early. He's only owned by 3.7% of the comp, which makes me think that people are scared of his injury record, or they don't believe in Everton's prowess to score goals. But Everton have been scoring goals. They just can't defend. And he's not a defender. You're getting him in because he's scoring goals. And then if we have a quick look at Vardy, who Tom has brought in, holy shit, I didn't realise Leicester had such a good run as well. Captaining Haaland. No, I'm not captaining Haaland, Tom, I promise. I'm definitely going Salah. I I didn't realise Vardy had such a good fixture on, Tom. That is juicy. Other than Arsenal next week away, you wouldn't put money against Vardy scoring next week as well. And but look, after that, Bournemouth at home, Southampton away, Nottingham Forest at home, Ipswich away, Man United away, Chelsea at home, 2 semi-difficult fixtures potentially. Then Brentford away, West Ham at home, Brighton at home. I tell you what, the Vardy party, Tommy, you could be onto something. You could be onto something. I might have to join the 11.4% and Tom next week in owning the Vardy party. But the only caveat I've got on that is he is 37 years old, and those hammies, they get harder to hold the older you get. Trust me, I'm 38. I know what I'm talking about. He needs to be doing the Pilates every week and probably getting some dry needling done to make sure that he keeps going. But yeah, the other bloke that I have quite liked as a real budget option is this bloke. Strand Larsen from Wolves. Now, it's not the time to jump on him at all. But he's looked lively. He's looked very competent. And Wolves have a very good turn of fixture run from game week 9 onwards. And look, he's not going to probably score you any goals in the next 4 weeks. He might against Brentford, you never know. But the next Man City, Liverpool and Aston Villa, he's probably not getting you any goals. But from then on, he could be a real good budget option. 5.5 mil. Definitely someone to keep your eye out for that run from game week 9 through to game week 18. He's not a bad option, I don't reckon. Now, as I said, I'm going to leave you with the team that I picked for the week. So as you can see, Tom, I'm loading it up now. Mo Salah is my captain. I've got Henderson in goal. Actually, all right, hold on. I don't know what's going on here. We're going to switch that. I thought I had... actually, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep Faze on the field. I don't know. I'm unsure on that one. That one might change. The Faze and Robinson might change. Yeah, that's right. True. But look, at the moment, I've got Faze in the starting lineup. That might change to Robinson. I'm unsure yet, but I've got about 13 minutes to figure it out. At the moment, I'm going that. I've got Rodgers in midfield, Mo Salah as my captain in midfield, Ahmad in midfield, Diogo Jota in midfield, and Smith Rowe in midfield. Some of these guys need to perform this week, or they are going to be getting turf next week when I've got a few transfers up my sleeve. I've got Haaland up top with Watkins. Watkins, I have strongly considered making captain. He has the Wolves at home fixture. I wouldn't be surprised if he's my top scorer this week and bites me in the ass when Mo Salah doesn't deliver, but I'm hoping that Mo Salah does deliver. At the moment, I'm sitting on 299 points to the total, rank 238,000 in the world, which is pretty good considering I haven't played a chip yet out of 10 million odd players. So look, and I'm rolling at the moment. Where does it say how much you got in the bank? It doesn't actually. I don't know why it doesn't say that, but look, in the bank, I've got 0.9 mil. So there you go. I've got a few things in the bank. I've got 1 free transfer, which will go to 2 as of 6 p.m., which is about 12 minutes time. So look, that's my team. I'm not making any changes this week. I'm going with the Mo Salah as captain, Tom. I don't know if I'm going to change Faze to Robinson, but it's hard to actually. Isaac's out. All right, yeah, I am swapping. I'm locking that in. I've just realised. I think Everton probably score against Leicester. But Newcastle, without Isaac, I just think they're going to struggle a little bit more. And Fulham, hopefully at home, going to reward some faith. And Robinson has got the chance of getting me an assist. And I don't think Faze has any chance of anything other than scoring a headed goal. So that's my line of thinking there. That's what I'm going with. That's my team. Thanks for joining this live stream. My first one. Hopefully next week is a bit better. Hopefully I'll get a guest on next week as well. Provide some bants as well. But good luck to all the fantasy coaches out there. Thanks very much. And if you haven't already, like the stream, like the